So when I was younger, I used to write fan fiction.
Well, what were you writing? Who were you fanficking together?
I was writing Sound of Music fan
No
fiction.
way.
It was, yeah.
Wait, don't tell me it was like
No.
your name and...
No. Oh
Okay,
God,
what was it?
imagine it was like self-insert fanfiction, like me and the captain. No.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Off the Shelf. Today, I'm sitting down with an incredible guest, an editorial director, podcast host, producer, and most recently, the author of It's Different This Time, Joss Richard. Welcome to Off the Shelf.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Welcome back to Toronto as well.
Thank you.
When this book came out, what was the first thing you did in the morning?
The first thing I did was post that the book was out. I'm not going to lie. I think the first thing I do every day is go on social media, which is
What time
not
are you an
healthy.
early riser? What time are you getting up at?
I usually wake up at 5:36.
Really?
Yeah.
Every day?
Every day, even weekends. Weekends I sleep until like 7.
I don't think we can call that sleeping in, though. I also am an early riser, but I'm a 7:30 early riser.
Okay, 7:30 still feels
7:30,
early.
it's feasible. It works.
Yeah.
Damn, so you posted.
I posted, well, because I felt like that day specifically, East Coast, because I'm also in Los Angeles,
Right.
so I'm 3 hours behind.
Okay, so
you
we're
know?
already like up and at 'em.
Yeah, so
Got
it was already 9:30 for all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do anything to celebrate on release day? Like, what were you up to?
I had my launch event the night before,
Okay.
which was so lovely. That was in Los Angeles, and that one was sold out. I was
Wow.
really surprised, the turnout, and I actually thought it was just going to be friends and people
I did see this
knew.
on your Instagram. Yes.
And there were so many people I didn't know, which was so lovely. It was so nice. And so I had that the night before. So I went to bed at like 2 in the morning.
Gotcha.
And then on release day, I was packing because I had a flight that night
And where were you going?
here.
Oh,
Yeah.
where did September go?
No,
I'm
it's-
not sure.
Where did the year go?
Here goes
Do you
the
remember
better
how
question.
January felt like 10 months and then out of nowhere, the year just zipped by?
Take us back to the beginning. You've worked a lot of jobs. You've been at like Hello Sunshine, at Netflix. Take us back to the beginning of like living in Toronto and studying and then going to LA.
So I was born, no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, start wherever you want.
No, so born and raised in Toronto, Mississauga specifically, and I went to school for broadcast journalism, and because I always knew I wanted to work in television, I just really loved storytelling, and I didn't know how to use that passion. I didn't know whether I wanted to write movies or work in TV, or I didn't know what that looked like. For a moment I wanted to be like Lauren Conrad on the Hills and work at a magazine. So like I just knew I wanted to have some sort of storytelling in my career, and I ended up working in entertainment news. So when I was in college, I got an internship at eTalk.
Whoa, okay.
From eTalk, I got hired as a producer. And then from there, I went to Breakfast Television, City TV, and that's what brought me to Los Angeles, because I would always go back and forth from Los Angeles, or from Toronto to Los Angeles. So I sort of fell in love with the city, and I feel like maybe I just manifested going there. Yeah, and then when I moved to Los Angeles, I ended up working in TV.
What is like your favorite project, show you've worked on thus far?
I think if I were to look back at my career, I would say the Ellen DeGeneres Show, because it was the Ellen DeGeneres Show. I was working there at, I think, like the height of it all, when it was just the biggest show at the time. And I remember I had the interview and I was driving there and I was thinking, okay, if this doesn't happen, then that's totally fine. Like, why would they want to hire me? I'm just like from Canada. I'm just, and it wasn't until I pulled into the Warner Brothers lot and I saw the Warner Brothers water tower.
Yeah.
It sort of hits you.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm here in Hollywood, right? So that's when it hit me. Not even just that I wanted the job, but that I lived in LA. I think that was the first time I was like, oh my gosh, like this is why I moved here, because I wanted to work on a show like this. So I think just looking at my entire history, I think that show was very special to me and sort of my bucket list job.
Yeah. What did you actually like do on the show? What was your role?
Yeah, so I was their digital producer. So I would produce anything that went on either YouTube, Instagram, TikTok was just starting too when I was there. It wasn't even a thing yet. And so if there were any guests on the show, I would film with them afterwards and we would do stuff for social.
Do you have a favorite guest? Because I remember over the years, like there was some like cool people who came on, or like the young kids who were like prodigies in something.
Oh my God, the kids were so cute. Yeah. I think Julie Andrews was my favorite because I was able to actually meet her. Usually it's just, you know how it is, like it's just very quick, but with Julie everybody knew how much I loved her, so they let me talk to her after the segment. I wasn't even producing her segment, they just let me talk to her and just fawn over her.
What is your like connection with, because I think you have Sound of Music tattoos, what is your connection with that?
I do have Sound of Music tattoos. I have multiple Sound of Music tattoos. It's my favorite movie. I just love Julie Andrews. It's just gonna become a Julie Andrews podcast. I love her, and I have multiple tattoos dedicated to that movie because it has changed my life. I just,
What is it about? I think I've only seen it a couple times and it's been years since I've seen it, but what is it about the movie that you just love?
I don't know. Like I love the feeling that I get when I watch it. It feels like home. It's a comfort movie. I think Captain Von Trapp is really hot.
Yeah.
I think she's like Julie is just, you can't keep your eyes off of her. She's stunning. And the songs and the Austrian Alps in the background, just no notes.
What did you say to her when you met her?
I met her once beforehand when I was, I think 14 at a book signing in New York.
Was she signing or you just?
She was signing, and so she wrote a children's book with her daughter, and my dad as a gift drove us from Toronto to New York.
Whoa, okay.
Overnight so I could meet her. So that was like the first time I met her, but a book signing's very quick. I was also 14. I didn't know what to say. And then with this time, I was just saying how much I adored her, and I showed her all of my tattoos, like one by one. Like I held her hostage there and showed every single one to her.
I'm not going to have you take off your sleeves, but what are the tattoos of?
I have an Edelweiss. I have lyrics from one of the songs. I have hills, like an Austrian landscape. I have so
I love it. I love it.
So the book that she signed when I was 14, I got that
brilliant.
Tattooed
brilliant.
On me. It actually sounds crazy when I'm saying it.
I think it's such an impactful tattoo to have. Like you have her writing on your body now.
No, absolutely. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
It's not anywhere like a lot of people see. So yeah,
it's just for you.
Totally.
Do you have any other tattoos?
I think I have like 20 tattoos. They're all like small, but they're throughout my arms that are covered right now.
Any other like in the same vein as Sound of Music, or does like that take the cake as like?
I really like the show Three's Company, which is a sitcom from the 70s.
I have never even heard of it.
I know not a lot of people from our generation have. Also, maybe I'm older than you, but for your generation especially, it's a sitcom from the 70s and 80s. So I have a tattoo number 3.
Oh, cute. What is the show about?
So it's about, oh my God.
Now we're going like deep into this.
This is so exciting. It's about 3 roommates that live together. And this show could not be made today, but it's 2 girls and a guy. And they live with very conservative landlords. And in order for them to all live together, he has to pretend that he's gay. Yeah. It, again, could not be made
Couldn't
today.
do today. No.
But for the 70s, it was funny.
Okay, so you've met Julie Andrews. Who's like, do you think the most famous person you've met?
Well, just know that the answer actually is Julie Andrews.
Of course.
But okay, if it wasn't her, I would say like I guess Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
At what point like in your career were you interviewing them for? Like where were you working?
Jennifer Aniston was The Ellen Show. Reese Witherspoon was when I worked for her company.
Right. Hello Sunshine.
Yeah. A lot of them were through Ellen. And actually that's not true. A lot of them were through TIFF. When I worked here at City, I would work the TIFF red carpets, which is the Toronto International Film Festival.
Yes,
for people that
which
don't know.
just recently happened, and then Toronto was busy and crazy and amazing. Have you ever had like an interview go wrong, or like an interaction where you're like, I want to immediately erase that from my memory.
Oh, absolutely.
Run us through what happened.
Okay, I won't say who it is.
That's fine.
I won't say who it is. This was one of my very, very first interviews that I've done when I was still a young producer and I guess didn't know better. But I was interviewing said celebrity, and as I was interviewing them, I don't know what they said, and I was agreeing. I was like, oh yeah, like, I think I said, or yeah. And they stopped me, and I was in front of so many people, this person's team, on camera, and they were like, when I talk, you don't talk. Okay?
No way.
Yeah, and I didn't even know what they meant because I wasn't talking, but I realized I was like saying yes, things like that.
But that's just like active listening. That's what I'm doing to you right now.
Totally. But in front of everyone, they told me, because when you go to cut this story, you're going to hear your voice. So you need to stop talking. And I never said a thing after. They were right, but
how much longer of the interview did you have to do after that point?
That was did you walk maybe the first 5 seconds of the interview. We had an exclusive. Damn. And it was a long interview. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But we're moving on from that.
Moving on.
It's fine.
And we grow. You know?
You live and you learn.
You live and you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're writing now, but do you ever miss that side of your career?
No. No, not because I didn't love it, but because I realized that I have an actual passion for writing. Yeah. And
right.
I didn't know that. And now that I know, I couldn't go back.
So when did the passion for writing first emerge then?
So when I was younger, I used to write fan fiction that not a lot of people saw. You're familiar with fan fiction, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. But what were you writing? Who were you fanficking together?
I was writing Sound of Music fan
No
fiction.
way.
It was, yeah.
Wait, don't tell me it was like
No.
your name and
no. Oh
okay,
my God.
what was it?
Just like self-insert fanfiction, like me and the captain. No, me and one of the kids.
I would not judge in the slightest. I'm here for it.
No, it was what happened on their honeymoon. Because it's something that which I don't know, I was 12 writing smut. I don't know, but it was what happened on the honeymoon because we never got to see it because they just got married and then we cut to a month later and they're just a family. And I was like, I want to know what happened. I want to know like how it went down as a child, which is scary.
Did you write? And was it just Sound of Music fanfics or
Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, Three's Company? Yeah, it was like all very old things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now I also know that maybe you did some like fan edit shipping. Was that also Sound of Music or anything else?
Yes, it was also Sound of Music, also Mary Poppins, also Three's Company.
Okay.
It's just yeah.
So you love storytelling, you love to write. When did the idea for this story arise?
This story came to me, I feel like it was a story that was always in me because I have always been fascinated because of my love for Three's Company.
The roommates.
Yes, the dynamic of roommates. And I always wondered, or I thought I was very fascinated by the idea of two people that were roommates of the opposite sex and how you can live with someone and just be so comfortable, intimate with them. They see your highs, your lows. You come home after work, you're doing like family things. And this person just sort of becomes your partner in life, but yet you're not in a relationship. So that dynamic always fascinated me. I mean, also, I'm a big fan of New Girl.
I was just going to ask you if you've seen that.
Nick and Jess.
Absolutely.
But even that, I think that's actually a better comp than Three's Company because not a lot of people know Three's Company. But but for Nick and Jess, it's like you see it that they're so close to each other and they're clearly attracted to one another. And I just find that so fascinating, and how you can be best friends with someone. And I always wondered, okay, what if those two people just don't live together anymore, but the feelings are still there? What would happen if they were reunited? So it's a story that I've always wanted to write. I just didn't know how, and I didn't know I could. And it wasn't until the pandemic when I started falling in love with reading again, as most people did. And I was working at Reese's Book Club, and I felt very empowered, by so many women around me that loved reading and writing. And I thought, okay, maybe I could do this. Maybe I can write something. So I just wrote it for myself. I wrote it with the intention of my husband reading it, maybe some close friends. And yeah, it just became a book.
Why did you decide to publish it then?
So my husband read it and he said, so what now? What do you do with this? And I said, well, what do you mean what now? Like I'm done. I wrote it. You read it. Like that's it. Now that's all. Because I'm so used to writing fan fiction and then you're just like, okay, well then that's it, right?
Well, you're writing it for you. Yeah.
Exactly. And he was really the one that encouraged me and he was saying, no, I think this is a book. Like I think you should try to get it published. And I didn't know a thing about getting published because even though I worked at Reese's Book Club, everyone that I worked with, any authors, it was always after the book came out, so I never knew anything about finding an agent, getting a publisher, all of those things. I just didn't think it was a possibility. But then I started, again, Googling and discovering that people, try and they do it. So I decided to try to find an agent.
So that was your first step then, finding an agent?
Yeah.
And how was that process like?
It was humbling. Yeah, it was humbling and it was exciting though, because I had this book that I wanted to share with people. And, even if it was a no, it was this exciting feeling of, oh my God, okay, at least a professional person read it. And even if they don't like it, that's pretty cool. So yeah, you just kind of go through the process of sending it to agents until it clicks with someone.
Did you ever think about like self-publishing it or were you pretty set on like, I want to go traditional?
I think I didn't know anything about self-publishing. It felt like too big of a feat for me to do that. It's a lot. And honestly, I tip my hat to authors that self-publish and I'm friends with so many of them and it's a lot of work and they're so talented. They're so hardworking. And I didn't think I had that in me to do that. I'm not against it, but I just felt like going traditionally published made most sense.
For sure. What about writing this book made you feel fulfilled?
I mean, everything. I just loved writing it. I think I wrote it in 4 months. It was very fast. From what I hear talking to other authors, there are some authors that usually write that quickly and some it takes like a year or so to write a book. But this book just poured out of me. And I think that is the most fulfilling, the fact that I just enjoyed writing it so much. It never felt like work. But also I think that's because I wrote it without the intention of publishing. Yeah. There were no stakes. Yeah.
Can you give us like a rundown on what this book is about? We know they have some roommates, but give us a good synopsis of it.
It takes place in New York in the fall. So very Nora Ephron vibes. It's a second chance romance. And it follows 2 former estranged roommates. They haven't spoken in 5 years, but they are left the brownstone in New York that they used to live in. And in order to inherit it, they have to live together for 30 days. And maybe things are different this time.
So the like roommate part kind of came from like New Girl and Three's Company.
Yeah.
Why did you want to do a second chance romance? Where did that come from?
Because I really wanted to know what it would be like for those 2 people to come back under different circumstances, but also the same circumstances, and see if is time the biggest healer of all? Can things change after X amount of years? And are feelings still there? If you're placed in the same setting, would the feelings rekindle? And I also just love a second chance romance.
Lately, I do too. Like, go back a year or 2. I was like, I'm not picking up a second chance romance because
interesting. Why?
I was like, once someone breaks up, that's it. They're done. Like,
you know what? And I would never encourage a friend to get back with their ex. Well, never.
See, that's the thing.
Never.
Yeah.
But in this book, they're not technically exes.
Yeah.
So it allowed me to justify their feelings and their actions.
Walk us through the process of like writing a book for the first time. Did you map anything out? Did you plan, or did you just write?
You know what? For this book, we totally went off vibes.
Okay.
I did not outline a thing, but I think that is because I knew like this story was sort of percolating in me for a very long time. So I knew what the story would be and I knew where I wanted it to go. So I don't recommend that.
Okay.
I don't recommend going off vibes. I do not. But for this one I did, because I think it was so close to me already that I felt like I could just write it.
So was there any like scenes or dialogues that you knew you wanted to include, or were you literally just like, because we also have the like dual
timeline.
Yeah. And you still just like, it's admirable, genuine. Like
Oh my gosh, thank you. I always knew I wanted it to be a dual timeline, because for me, with a second chance romance, I feel like you can't properly tell a second chance romance story unless you understand what happened to them in the past. And sometimes people achieve that with flashbacks, but for me, I knew what their past was, so I figured why not just write it and let everyone else know what their past was. But yeah.
What was the hardest part about writing it?
I think the hardest part was the dual timeline, because you don't want it to sort of be the same, not misunderstanding, but there's certain reasons why they aren't together in the past, and then you kind of it happens again in the present, and you don't want it to be the exact same thing happening. So for me, it was, okay, well, I know why they didn't work out in the past, but how do I justify it not happening again in the present? But also, 6 years have passed, they're different people. So I think that was the hardest part for me, making sure that those actions felt justified.
Yeah. Does 74 Perry exist?
It sure does.
So how did this book come to be? Because you lived in Toronto, you're now living in LA. Why New York? Why 74 Perry?
Okay, so I think New York in the fall is the most romantic time in the year. Maybe that's a hot take.
No,
I will take that over
no.
Paris any day. I grew up on Nora Ephron movies, so
Okay.
When Harry Met Sally.
Who's Nora Ephron?
You've Got Mail, When Harry Met Sally.
I know those movies. Yes. Okay.
She's a filmmaker.
Got it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but she has wonderful romance movies. Yes, but a lot of her movies take place in New York in the fall. So I just love that vibe. But what I did is, growing up, I would always go to New York because it's fairly close to Toronto.
It's what, like an 8-9 hour drive or something?
Yeah, it's accessible to go there for a weekend.
For sure.
So I would go there a lot growing up, and I just love New York. And when I was writing it, without a doubt, I was like, I have no interest in writing a story that does not take place in New York. Like, no way. LA, that's not cute to me. That's, sorry.
LA, it has qualities. You live there though, no?
Yeah, and I don't love it, but I know that's not romantic to me. So I knew I wanted it to take place in New York in the fall, and I went there. And when I was writing the book, I had a placeholder address, and I went there and I was just walking around the West Village because that's my favorite neighborhood, and I found a street that really spoke to me, and it was Perry Street. So I was like, okay, just spending time there. I think I spent like 20 minutes there, just me and my husband. We're like, is it this one? Is it this one? And then I saw one and I said, I think it's this one. So it actually is a real house, which was really funny because I found out later it's like the next house to Sarah Jessica Parker's house in Sex and the City.
Oh, I know exactly where this is then.
Yeah.
No way.
It's not it's like 2 doors
But
down.
I know the street. Yeah, because people are always taking
It's a
photos
beautiful
in front of it.
street. I get why they chose it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's so... Damn. I wish I knew that before reading the book, because now I have such a like vivid imagination of like what it looks like walking up to the brownstone.
Yes, it's so pretty.
Did you pull any other like real life inspiration into this book?
I mean, everything that is mentioned location-wise is factual. They're all real places. You can go there. Even the subway stops, thanks to my copy editor, are accurate. So you could do that.
I think one of my favorite lines in the book, when it was like, if you were wondering if it was possible to break up with someone 8 subway stops, yes, it is.
Yes,
I was like,
it is.
wait, this is so good.
That's one of my favorite lines.
Yeah, it was good.
But, and then I have a love for theater, so I definitely incorporated that as well.
Did you ever like have like writer's block, or you needed inspiration, or were you listening to certain types of music like when you were writing this book?
Writer's block, no, because again, this story just poured out of me. I think for any inspiration, music wise, I put on, so I just search jazz, like a Spotify, like lo-fi autumnal jazz playlist, and that's what I would play in the background as I was writing. Usually I like writing in silence.
Yeah.
Like a crazy person, like silent. Yeah.
Were you reading it all while you were writing it?
No, so I can't read while I'm writing because I feel like I am too heavily influenced. So I wanted to make sure that this story was like authentically me and not influenced by anything I was reading.
I want to ask you my questions.
Yeah.
Not like questions, but again, like I went through this book and I was like, wait, there's like so many like little things where I want to know.
Okay.
So in the book, they talk about like everyone working out in LA and nobody walking in LA. Was that like something, obviously you live in LA now, was that like a rude awakening when you got there? Or were you well aware of that stereotype?
I wasn't aware. And that actually came from a conversation that I had with friends where we were talking about that, how nobody walks in LA.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get into boxing?
How did I? I feel like I just saw a video of it was a guy boxing. And I remember thinking, well, that's cool. Like I probably should start working out. So I Googled boxing gyms, studios around where I live. And I found my boxing place. And it's like I was very intimidated.
Yeah.
I went in there and it's like a guy's gym, but there are a lot of women who box and it's my favorite thing to do.
So do we have like a boxing romance book in your future or?
I mean, I have in the second book that I wrote, there's a little bit of some boxing in there. Yeah.
Okay, we get back to that in a second. Okay, June has like her audiobook time. Is that character driven or do you also have an audiobook time?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I like audiobooks.
And what speed do you listen to audiobooks on?
2.1.
Okay, yeah, same.
Really?
Yeah, 2.5 sometimes.
Sometimes.
Depends on the audio, like depends on the narrator and how fast they are speaking, but I'm not a one-time speed person.
I'm actually very curious how narrators record because it actually feels unnatural to me to talk. When I listen at one point, it sounds like they're robots.
Yeah. Sometimes when I like switch it back, I'm like, they're talking so slow. Do you guys have an audiobook for It's Different This Time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And have you listened to it?
I have listened to a little bit of it. So the narrator, her name is Fidel Capistrano. She's wonderful, and everyone who has listened adores her as a narrator. I am nervous to listen. I've listened to a little bit of it, and I did like it, but I mean,
it's your own words. It's your own words.
Yeah, it's very strange to me.
It's like hearing your voice. I don't listen to my podcast. I don't like to hear my own voice sometimes.
Yeah, and also you don't hear the process. So I don't hear it until it's done. So I also am worried, like, oh my gosh, what if I envisioned it a line a very, very specific way? And I trust the producer and I trust the narrator, but I don't know. It kind of freaks me out to listen.
Well, it's the same thing as an adaptation sometimes. Like you're taking it into a new artistic format. Like people are putting their own creative spin on it.
Yes, so absolutely.
I totally get it. Okay, musicals. Is Les Mis also your favorite, or is that a June thing?
Les Mis is my favorite musical.
Okay.
Yes, and I was in Les Mis.
Ah, no way.
Yes.
What were you?
I was Eponine.
Okay, so I haven't actually seen. There are some things that are so similar, like audiobook speed, and other things musicals. I'm trying to get into.
No, it's fine. Okay, so Three's Company, Nora Ephron, Les Mis.
Got it. Someone write that down.
But it's a wonderful musical, and I think I put it in there just because I have such a deep love for it. It's not autobiographical in any way aside from that.
Do you have a least favorite musical?
I don't think so. There's no musical I can think of where I'm actively thinking that's a bad musical. I love all musicals.
Next, June reading multiple books simultaneously. Can you also do that, or is that a character?
I can read a book and then listen to an audiobook.
Gotcha. The same genre or different?
I can do same genre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I can, but then I get confused on what is actually going on. I like to do one at a time.
Okay.
And the other issue is like sometimes I'll be on my Goodreads and I'm like, it says I'm reading 15 books right now, and that's not actually accurate.
Yeah.
But I also can't DNF. So I created this like new tab on Goodreads.
Oh, you can't.
No. So I created a new tab that says come back to later.
Okay. Okay, but you put a pause.
Later is like,
so like do not finish for now, and then you come back to it later.
Eventually. Well, because sometimes I get to the end of the year and I'm like, crap, I'm 10 books away from my reading goal. Let me go finish all of these come back to you later
Okay.
books.
Are you the type of person that has a checklist and you're like, I need to check all the things off? Yeah. I get that.
I'm a type A
Yeah.
perfectionist sometimes, and I need what I set out to do, I end up needing to do at all times. Okay. How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium rare.
Ooh.
Oh no! Please don't tell me you like it well done. Are you kidding me? We are
No, see, I know. Opposites attract. Yeah,
Well
even
done.
I was out for lunch yesterday, and there was a burger on the menu, and it said served medium rare.
okay. A burger is different, I think.
Okay.
Like a steak.
Oh, a steak is still well done. I don't need any pink in my meat ever.
Huh.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, last thing. Adding someone as do not text in your phone. Have you ever had to do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Have you ever had to change it back like June did, or?
Yeah, my husband.
No, really?
Yeah.
You have to tell
That's
us
where I
about
got that
this now.
from.
Okay.
He was definitely labeled do not text for a while.
And why is that?
Well, we just had, an interesting start to our relationship, but
How did you guys meet?
We met at a fire drill.
What?
We both worked at Netflix.
Okay.
And it was my first day. It's so fun. I told the story today as well to my publicist. But
Okay,
she
we
was,
wanna hear it
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So she was, so I was telling her that it was my first day at work and the orientation started at 10 and I got there at 9 and they sat me at my desk and they sort of gave me pamphlets and whatnot to look at and just whatever. And 9:30-ish rolls around and there's a fire drill and I didn't know where to go. I didn't know a thing. And my husband, who was a contractor there, he was asking if I was okay and if I needed anything. Yeah. So that's how we met.
Can you tell us what he did to make him do not text?
I think, it was just complicated. There were some complications, and it was, he didn't do anything bad, but it for me, I thought I should not text this person.
Right.
I shouldn't think about this person. I shouldn't talk to them. So just do not text. It wasn't enough to delete or block a number, but just a reminder.
Fair point. Okay.
A reminder to say, do not text this person.
But now you're happily married and
Very happily married.
and it made it into a book. So
Yes.
full circle moment.
Yes, and he's a lovely person.
Yeah,
Who does not do anything wrong. Yeah, he's great.
Okay, so I'm happy to know you have a good understanding of like New York rom-coms because we have a little bit of a New York Central Park quiz
Oh,
for
no.
you. No,
fail?
because you've already mentioned several of the things on
Okay.
this.
I'm so bad at a pop quiz.
No, not a pop quiz, a rom-com question error.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a clue and I'm gonna have you guess whatever it's New York romantic-esque movies and TV shows.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is fun.
Number 1, a bookstore feud turns into an anonymous love story with bouquets of freshly sharpened
You've Got
pencils.
Mail.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, two friends cross paths in the fall with long walking and talking scene under the golden Central Park leaves.
That could be anything.
You've mentioned it on this episode. In this
When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A fashion assistant.
Sorry, it's so vague. It's like
I know.
two people walking
But
around
you've got
New
it.
York.
You've got it. This one's a bit more specific. A fashion assistant dashes through New York, coffee in hand, plaid scarf flying. Autumn becomes her runway.
Devil Wears Prada?
Yep. Which I have also not seen.
Oh, interesting.
I have a lot of things to watch. I feel like.
same.
Yeah.
Same.
A Thanksgiving dinner goes horribly wrong after someone gets turkey stuck on their head, but somehow it's still one of the coziest New York City fall traditions.
Friends.
Yeah. Okay. Two strangers meet over frozen hot chocolate, leave their
Serendipity.
Yeah. That one I have seen. Okay. Every year, Ted waits on the same rooftop in costume, hoping to meet the girl he once connected with at a Halloween party.
No, I don't know that one.
Do you know a Ted in a comedy show?
Ted. Oh, How I Met Your Mother? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I have never seen How I Met Your Mother.
Neither have I, so that's okay.
I don't know how I know that his name is Ted. Is that what the show is about?
Truthfully, I don't know any other characters in How I Met Your Mother other than Ted.
Is he waiting every year to find out who his mother is?
Has anyone seen How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah, that's just an episode. He's always trying to find the wife, because he's telling his kids a story of How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, okay.
And that's a reoccurring kind of thing.
Imagine if he was just waiting for his own mother every Halloween. Where's that story?
2 more for you.
Mm-hmm.
A certain prep school queen bee stretched through the Met steps in plaid skirts and tights. Fall in New York never looked so stylish.
Gossip Girl? Yeah.
Okay, last one. A crisp autumn walk turns into a life chat about love, breakups, and whether the city itself might be the one. You have also mentioned it in this episode.
I have?
Yeah. Think the New York brownstone.
Sex in the City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, no more quizzing for you. No more. The only
I think I did good.
You did incredible. You're a great pop quizzer. Can you talk about what's coming next?
I have gotten permission to say that I have a second book coming out.
Okay.
I can't say when.
Okay, that's fine.
But there will be a second book.
Can you give us any breadcrumbs about it?
It is also a romance.
Okay.
And that's it.
So this is where you're going.
Yes. Yeah. So I write full time now, and this is what I hope to keep doing. Hopefully I'll keep writing as long as they let me. Wow. And even if they don't let me, I'll keep writing, you know?
So like, what is your day-to-day life looking like going forward then?
Once all of the events and whatnot end, then it would be back to writing. Yeah, it would just be back to a schedule of writing as much as I can. And I love writing. Yeah. So it doesn't feel like work to me.
Now, is there any part of you that is worried about writing another book? Like, I know this one has, like, you knew what you were going to write. You wanted the roommates. You wanted the second chance romance. Are you worried about a second book? Are you excited?
I'm excited at the opportunity to write again because I love writing stories. I think my second book is a little more nerve-wracking because it's the first time I'm writing for someone with a deadline, knowing that people are going to read it. I think I was very blessed to write this book with no expectations, so I could just really write whatever I wanted. And I think other authors have told me this, that your sophomore book is always hard because it's the first time you're writing with an expectation.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so a little nervous.
Who are like, do you have authors in your circle that like you go to for?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to make friends with authors that I love. I would say Sarah Adams, she is also a romance author. She's someone that I connected early on with, and she's been so lovely, and she's someone that helps.
She wrote this year Beg, Borrow, or Steal?
Yes.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the like 2 feuding teachers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that was a good book.
Yeah, she's so lovely.
Wow, that's incredible. What is your like favorite part about being an author now?
Writing, like getting to write stories and seeing other people read them, like hands down. That's just like the most incredible feeling when I go on Instagram and someone says, oh my gosh, I read this book and I loved it. Like, thank you. Like, I'm just so grateful that someone took the time to read and that they were touched. Even if people don't, like, I don't look at reviews because I'm very faint of heart. I'm very scared. But even if someone were to read it and not connect, I feel like I'm just grateful for that person's time and even trying. So yeah, I'm just so grateful.
This is an incredible book, and it's an incredible debut novel.
Thank you so
congratulations
much.
on the release. Thank you so much for coming on your very like busy trip.
Oh my gosh, thank you
Toronto.
for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming on, and thank you all for listening to Off the Shelf, and we will see you next Thursday.